What's up, guys? Shawn Booth here, and I am a stay-at-home dad who works out for a living. This is Creative Control.
Welcome to Creative Control. Thanks for pressing play. We're happy to have you. I'm Alex Lagos, and I'm joined by somebody I love very much, Shawn Booth.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming in.
This is a familiar spot right here.
Yeah, because you do your show here in the booth. You've been doing it here for a minute.
Yeah, and in that seat, though.
In this one.
So
So
you're
now
throwing me off a little bit.
You're in the hot seat. I'm in the
like
chill
it.
seat.
I like
Yeah,
it.
man.
Less pressure over here.
What'd you get into this morning?
This morning, I woke up pretty early and headed into the gym, coached a couple classes.
What time are you up in the morning?
Today, I was up at 4:14 a.m.
Is that because you're a fitness guy or because you're a dad?
Fitness.
Okay.
It was because I was a dad.
Yeah.
Now he's sleeping past 4, which is good.
Nice.
But our first class is at 5 a.m.
Nice.
So that forces me to get up a little bit earlier. I don't go in that early every day of the week, but this week I probably go in 3 or 4 times at 5 a.m. So I got to get up early.
Nice.
And get after it. So coach a few classes, and then I just got a run in myself, and just ran over here.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I want to run through a couple things that I don't want to talk about, just to kind of set the stage. I don't want to talk about your engagement after winning the Bachelorette in 2015.
What engagement?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about how jealous I am of your physique.
Okay.
Cut to wide, everybody can see. And I don't want to talk about how your dog Walter is low-key the most famous member of your
I
family.
should have brought him in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually in here. There's probably still hair
Somewhere.
from that episode.
If we dig around, I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yeah, Walter's the man. He's having not a tough go, but he's not. He loves our son Locks, but he's definitely jealous.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we didn't know how it was going to work out. I thought he was going to be like super pumped, and he's kind of just so indifferent about him.
Poor guy.
But Locks is definitely beginning to recognize him more, and he's petting him, and he lays on him. And the other day he was like playing with his car on him, and I look over and Walter's just like giving me this look like, get this guy off of me.
Like, what have you done?
Yeah, but I feel like in a few years it's all going to be like, they'll be best friends by then.
They'll be buddies. Once he can start giving them treats,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
he'll be like, okay, cool, we're nice. We're good.
Yeah.
What I do want to talk about, I want to get into the importance of community when it comes to building a brand. I want to get into the mindset that has kept you on the path because you've had a long, impressive journey. I want to talk about the evolution and the future of content for you as well as for the gym. Mm-hmm. And then I want to talk about how you were able to parlay reality show fame into a wildly successful brick and mortar business.
Yes.
And I think I want to start there.
Okay.
On your, right after the show, you come out of that. Obviously, there's pros and cons of being in reality TV, which I
Right.
think most people are familiar with now. But coming off the show, when does the gym come into view for you?
Man, that didn't come in for a little bit. When I got off the show, I was kind of in a very lost space. Like I didn't know what to do, what direction to go in. So I was always a personal trainer before I went on the show. I was always in fitness, played soccer in college, played every sport growing up, and got heavy into fitness probably end of high school and in college. And then I knew I always wanted to be involved in fitness. Went on the show. I was also working for an insurance company before I went on the show.
Nice.
Doing loss control, risk management. It was a sweet gig, work from home, company car, nice salary.
That was when work from home was rare.
Yes.
Nice.
And that was like, I came out of school back in 2009 when the economy was awful.
Yeah, fun time.
And so nobody was getting a job. Me and my buddies who did this ridiculous degree basically just to get good grades and play soccer in college, we all got really good jobs. So I did that. And then when I went on the show, I told them, I was like, hey, I got this opportunity to go on the show. Can't really talk about it. They kind of put 2 and 2 together, and they said, if you go on the show, then you're going to get fired. So I gave them my 2 weeks resignation letter, and then I went on the show, and I was like, well, shit. Hopefully I make it past a week.
All in.
And then when I got back from the show, it was very difficult because I was having to travel every other weekend to meet up with my ex, like in little getaways. And then it took 10 weeks for the show to air. And then when it started airing, life just got crazy and we were traveling. all over the country, all over Canada, and that was going on for a solid year or so. And I just felt lost in my routine, and I enjoyed it for a little bit. Definitely loved the partying for a little bit, but that got old, and I just needed something consistent. That was just when social media started really taking off.
Yeah.
Like brands really started, it was the Wild West for brands back on Instagram, right? And started getting some brand deals, but those were few and far between.
This is what, 16, 17?
Yeah, 16, 17. And Kaitlyn at the time, she was, I mean, getting all the brand deals, and it was good to be a female on that show because most of the followers are females. So my Instagram, it's 96% females.
Nice.
So it's like a blessing and a curse. It's like, well, what am I going to influence them on? Not my beauty routine or my makeup.
Vagisil.
Yeah, exactly. So that was tricky. So I started doing like some online coaching, some nutrition stuff. And then I started doing this fitness tour across the country in Canada, which I loved. We'd go to these cities. We called it City Strong. And we'd show up, we'd sell out in a couple hours, put these tickets online, have 500 people out there, do a huge group workout.
Nice.
So I instantly was like, I love this. I love the energy for group workouts. I love it better than personal training, one-on-one. So I was doing that for a while. Back in Nashville, fast forward, I got connected with this lady, sweet lady, Robin, who owned the spot downtown, right down the road here. And she was like, hey, if you can come in here once a month, do a group fitness class, promote my business, I'll let you use the gym whenever you want.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, done, deal. So I would do one or two group fitness classes a month. They would be awesome. Again, love the energy, love the community part of it. And then, eventually she asked me if I basically wanted to buy out the business, take over the space. And that's what happened. So the brick and mortar, that didn't come probably until 2018. So that's 3 years. 2-3 years after the show.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What were some other things? You try other things that didn't work?
Man, I probably tried everything. Like I said, I did actually, the nutrition plans were really working. I was like, man, I should have stuck to those.
You're just selling them on like through your IG?
Like I had a custom website.
Nice.
And doing custom meal plans, but then like the support and going back and forth with everybody was very overwhelming. And because I wanted
Customer
to be,
service,
yes,
man.
I wanted it to be custom and individualized, not just like selling some crap plans out there that are all the same. And that was difficult with my schedule. I was doing some one-on-one training in that space and at people's homes, and the big group fitness thing. So I tried a little bit of everything.
Why go in person? I guess only like with the context of, it feels like everybody, especially now, comes off reality show and is like, I'm a personal trainer, or I'm a fitness influencer, but you won't work with me in person. We're only going to work online, or you can buy my meal plans or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, why go brick and mortar?
Because I missed that community feel, and my whole thing when I started BC was to get like a team feeling. So every time we work out, after we do our warm up, every coach breaks it down. Team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team. At the end of the workouts, 1, 2, 3, team. And that's obviously from my college athletic days. We do warm-ups, same dynamic warm-ups. We get in 2 lines, now 3 lines, and we're doing our warm-up set.
2 lines to 3 lines, dude.
Yeah,
Let's
2 lines
go.
to 3
Good
lines.
jump.
That's right.
Good
Yeah,
jump.
that's where we're at now. And I really just missed that, that community feeling. And I felt kind of alone in the city where I lived, and I didn't live here for too long before I went on the show, and then that kind of secluded me. And then I got back from the show. It was kind of very difficult to make friends or real friends.
Yeah.
And now, looking back at it, I have some of my very best friends to this day that came to my gym.
Nice.
And I just wanted a spot where I could go to, home base, and I was sick of traveling, man. I was sick of it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to travel anymore. And but to your point, other people, when they get off the show or they become these fitness influencers, they sell their programs. Or I had an app too for a while.
Yep.
I did that route, and it's obviously it could be a smart route because you have all these followers from all over the country, right? So not everybody can come to Nashville, Tennessee to come work out with me. So I understand that side of things. My thing with that is, how legit are these people? There's so many influencers out there now that claim they're fitness professionals. There's so many girls that just have a nice ass and are like, hey, this is my glute workout. I'm
It's
like,
the only prereq right now.
yeah, exactly. It's like, because my butt looks really good in these spandex. And so it's very tough to find legit fitness professionals. Because like you said, there's so many out there now.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's an interesting space. And I think like just the time that we're in right now feels like we're in this chapter of like life optimization.
Yeah.
Like with like all the cold plunge trend that exploded obviously from COVID, like nasal breathing, mouth tape,
all that.
Like breath work, red light therapy, etc. Are we actually benefiting from any of this, or is this just bullshit?
I think that there's some benefits to some of the stuff for sure. And I think there's definitely things where people are just throwing anything that sticks to the wall, and people are just trying to get on that bandwagon first and just sell it. And I think we're going to continue to see that. So I don't know. It's a tricky place right now on social media because I feel like it's oversaturated. I feel like brands obviously notice that. I feel like brand deals are tougher to come by. I think they now have a stricter set of guidelines on who they want to work with. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it all shakes out in the next 2, 3, 5 years. And that's also why I wanted to set up a brick and mortar, because I have 100% control of that. That's my space. I have control of it here. Social media, not going to be, but could be gone tomorrow. I can't control when a brand deal comes in, but I can work my ass off every day to control if I can get members into my gym.
Nice. Yeah. How would you compare the influencer world to founder world? Is the same skill sets apply?
Founder world as in like
Business
starting a
owner.
business?
Yeah.
I think founder world is a lot harder, and I think that the people who are able to create sustaining businesses work a lot harder. I think people don't realize how difficult it is. I think it's a very easy thing to want to own your own business and be an entrepreneur, but like all the old sayings, and everybody's always said, when I was growing up, if you want to own your business, you're gonna be working more than anybody else. It's not all sexy. It may look cool from the outside, but if you want it to be successful, you have to grind every single day, and you know that. And it's not just, hey, I'm gonna start a business and I'm gonna make all this money. It's like, no. There is a long time, from the gym where I wasn't even taking any pay. And like
Same
right
here.
now,
Yeah, same with me.
With a new business, I put everything is going back in the business to grow, and I want to be able to pay all my employees. And so I go to work every day, and my employees can attest to this. I'm there mostly all day, every day, sun up to sundown, and I'm not paying myself anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to set it up for the future, for success in the future, for the long run. So that's where I'm at now. But I'd say the founders and entrepreneurs probably a little more difficult route.
Do you think you're having a large-scale personal brand and notoriety from reality TV? Do you think that worked for you or against you?
It was both. It definitely helped to get people in the door, but did it get the right people in the door? I don't know. I think some people just came, everybody's
Could you sniff that out immediately?
Yeah,
like people coming in just because it was yours?
Yeah, I could sniff that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it always made me feel kind of awkward and weird because I just want it to be a legit gym.
Yeah.
And then you got, when we first opened, it was probably 95, like my following, 95% females. And now working our asses off for 7 years, now I honestly think it's 50-50 with guys and females. First off, there's a lot of people who just think that group fitness, and it is more female dominated. A lot of guys like to go throw on headphones, go into the gym, lift, right? A lot of guys don't want to be told what to do. A lot of guys have ego and think they know what they're doing. A lot of guys think that they're not going to get a good workout in a group fitness setting. We've kind of shifted that narrative for sure. We're like, well, why don't you just come on in and then you'll see that it's legit and you'll get a great workout.
Yeah.
And so having the stigma of, hey, a guy who was on The Bachelorette owns this gym, it's like, that's pretty tricky to get guys in there.
It's a different marketing angle for sure.
Yeah, so I wasn't pumped about that. I wanted to use my following, but I definitely, I knew that was going against me at some points for sure.
Was there a turning of the tides when you felt like, okay, we've overcome that stigma of that is who I am and what this is?
It's probably a few years into the business,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And now for sure, that's completely Like, I don't even know if people even know that anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's so like, and that's what I wanted. Like it's a legit gym. And I think it's, you know, I'm biased, but I think it's the best group fitness facility in the country because of our programming, our coaches, our equipment, the facility itself. I mean, we've done everything that we could to legitimize ourselves, and I'm super proud of that.
I would agree with you. Coming into this was your first business.
Yes.
Can you recall any early lessons that you had to learn the hard way?
Man, I learned so many lessons. The number one thing I always tell everybody is the people. The people you work with is the biggest challenge in dealing with personalities. And I started my business when I was, 32. And so a lot of my coaches are, you know, mid, late 20s. We're all the same age. And then a lot of my coaches were my friends. And my coaches now are still my friends. But I had a very difficult time in the early stages of being able, you know, to be like, hey, I'm the boss. This is how it's going to go. Like, let's do this. Or like, I had a tough time telling my employees, right? Because they're my friends.
Right.
And I don't want to get them upset. And it was, and I cared about them. And I cared about all my employees so much that when an employee left, it was like heartbreaking for me.
You felt like a breakup.
Oh, awful. Like, and one thing I'm very proud of, BC, and I think it's a testament of what we've been able to do is all of our coaches stay for a couple of years.
I would assume turnover there is pretty big. People gym hopping. I'm
all
going to go
the
over
time.
here and coach instead.
Yeah. So, I mean, shoot, I mean, we didn't lose really any employees for the first few years. And
That's great.
So I'm proud of that. But it was every time an employee leaves, it's like it's a heartbreak.
Yeah, it's
but
tough, man.
I've gotten a little bit better at dealing with them. Like I can kind of tell if it's coming.
You see the signs.
I can see the signs, and so that's the main thing. And like everybody's got a different personality, so you know you got to find different ways to motivate everybody. But if it's all about the team you surround yourselves with and who you can trust and share the same vision. There's also a lot of ego in fitness, right? And it's you know, I'm very, I think, good at being able to point that out now. And I probably get asked weekly, like, hey, I want to coach at your gym. I'll get like a DM or somebody like, hey, somebody wants to coach. And I'm like, how would you know if you want to coach here? You've never been to my gym.
Nice.
You just,
it's great.
You see it on Instagram and it looks cool and you want to coach. You might hate it. You might hate me. You might hate the coaching style.
I might suck.
I might suck. Yeah. Like you might not like our classes. So it's like, now I'm like, and I will probably not even respond to those people, which maybe I should, but I don't know if
I don't know. Let's double click on that.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting. Because in my head, I'm like, well, if I was asked that question, if I'm somebody who DMs Shawn and I say, I want to come coach your gym.
Yeah.
Because I've obviously seen what you do online and we'll get to the content and the community after.
Yeah.
But I would be like, yeah, but I've heard all the great things. So it is tough.
Yeah.
I still think you're approaching it the right way, by the way.
Yeah.
But it is tough because from the other side, it's like you've built something so amazing that from the outside looking in,
Yeah.
why would I not want to be a part of this? It's incredible.
Yeah, that's true. And I would be like, well, you've been here how long in Nashville? How come you haven't taken a class?
Yeah. I would agree with you there. I think that's the right move.
So I don't know. And I could, you know, be missing out on some great coaches, but right now it's like I know the people that I think mesh well with our community if I'm able to see them on a daily basis, and it's them being able to interact with our current members, and it's members like we hire a lot from within, people who have been, you know, members for years, and then they want to coach. I'm like, all right, well, you know what we're all about. Let's give you a shot.
How do you get people to buy into your vision?
That's a good question. I think it's just setting the tone early, right out of the gates, and kind of putting expectations out there on how we operate. And I think it just honestly speaks for itself. Like I think once we're like, hey, so if there has been somebody who's come to the gym, they're taking a few classes, we'll be like, hey, we're going to put a month, or we're going to give you an unlimited membership. You can come whenever you want. And then we'll kind of sit back and watch, see when they come in. Yeah. So it's like they can book a class every single day. So like we want them to like us just as much as we like them.
That's really good.
So then you come check it out, and then we'll, you know, whenever you want to talk, I'm here. If you want to, I would recommend talking with the other coaches, you know, as well. And Then we'll meet again in a month, and then we'll see where we're at. But then they're able to see firsthand what our coaches are like, what our community's like, what our workouts are like.
And you get to see what their buy-in is like.
Exactly.
That's really nice, man.
Yeah.
That must have been a big unlock.
Yeah.
What's the success rate when you give somebody that? Like, I would assume you probably have a good finger on the pulse already, so the people you give that to, they're going to buy in. Is that how it's been?
Yeah, but there's been some who like really didn't show up.
Tough.
Yeah, and they're just like, it's like, okay, I've only seen you once or twice in the last month.
Yeah.
You said you want to coach here. You love it. You love the workouts.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Right.
You've had a chance to come here every day. Not that I expect you to come every day, but then there's coaches who will come every day.
But also, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
You know?
And then coaches that will want to, like, they'll ask questions. They'll meet with the coaches after it and be like, hey, did you do this because of that or this? So it's like those people are like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I also almost like people that, you know, are a little bit newer into fitness or want to train for the first time, because then we can kind of help, you know, molds their coaching tactics and personality.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, they're a little more malleable.
Yeah.
Got a little bit more to work with.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Talk about your community, because I think I moved here in 2015.
Yeah.
And so I've witnessed the growth of the gym and your brand. And it's always been, from the outside looking in, the community that surrounds this gym is what differentiates it from everything else that is in the city.
Yeah.
Talk about kind of like recognizing the importance of that early on, what you implemented to put that in place, and then how you've scaled.
Yeah, for sure. That was it is a huge part of our success, and right out of the gates. And again, I put like team right when you walked in the door at the old spot, and that's what we wanted to create, because the main thing that I missed, you know, playing sports, and you played sports, it wasn't necessarily the games. Obviously, I missed that, but it was like the bus rides, the plane rides with the guys, the fucking arounds on the weekends. It was the actual, like, going to battle with your boy out on that field for a freaking 90 minutes. And it's like you got each other's back, and that's like hard to find. And it builds this relationship that's unlike anything else. Like, I still have, you know, some of my best friends to this day are guys I played soccer with in college, and I'll talk to them on a weekly basis, and we live all the way across the country, but it's like that relationship, and that's what I miss, that camaraderie. So we wanted to build that, and by doing that, we also offer within the community a lot of different events, right? And we're not just, hey, work out every day, and then that's it. It's like, no, we have big events and competitions throughout the year. Like, we do this annual adventure race, which we just did a couple weeks ago, and we had 70 plus people race around Nashville. They paid for it, by the way, to race like 8-9 miles in the heat, and going from the soccer field doing burpee broad jumps to going to Shawn stairs, going to the Capitol, running up with sandbags. And we had 3 teams. Like, I had my team with one of my coaches, and there was other coaches. So it was like, we set this up for a couple months, where then we are working out as our own individual teams. Like, I'm the black team, then we got the red team, then we got the white team, and then everybody on those teams are getting closer, and then everybody within those 3 teams are then getting closer, and they're working out on the same nights, and then they have the same things to talk about, and the same reason, to the motivation to not let their team down, to not let their friends down. And from that, it doesn't matter who wins, even though the black team should have won this year, but we let the red team win. But not that I care.
Not bitter at all.
Not bitter at all. Yeah. But the actual whole community, everybody together, that's the main part that we do it. And it's just the hanging out afterwards, having drinks, having food. And like, people are still talking about it from a few weeks ago. It's just those memories. So things like that we insert to our program every couple months to keep people, you know, engaged, and doing stuff like Friday Night Lights, where once a month on a Friday we have drinks from local bars and pizza from local pizza shops, and you just get to hang out and have some fun games to play. So it's awesome. And the community's been massive.
Yeah,
massive.
dude.
And everybody says it, like, everybody creates a business like, oh, it's all about the community. It's like, no, we really have a very strong community.
Yeah.
Very strong.
You're an example that I've been looking at, because we've started to, you know, we did our first event a couple of months ago where we opened up this space. We just wanted it to be like, hey, come in and take a tour of the space, come in and meet other people doing podcasts, network. Hey, I'll come on your show, you come on mine type thing.
Yeah.
For that reason. And again, like you've been an inspiration of that, just seeing an example of this is a brand and a community that has grown and grown and grown in a way that is so undeniably, oh, they're doing things the right way and they're focused on the right things.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it almost comes down to like our members, if they don't show up for a workout, they feel like they're missing out.
Yes.
Right? Like, because they want to go and get the workout, but it's they want to see their friends and hang out on the turf afterwards and talk, and hang out in the lobby afterwards and talk. And that's the cool part. And that's what I always say is I want to create a space where you can get away for an hour. Like, I know how important fitness is to me and my mental health and just overall health, and being able to find an escape. Life is so hard for so many people, especially right now, like with the economy, and there's so many distractions and social media. It's like, if you can go to a place for an hour a day to work on yourself, but more importantly, make those connections, I feel like that's huge.
You feel like you don't have to market as hard because of that organic community?
Yeah, I do. We're marketing like crazy right now because it's a huge space and we just opened up, but it is such an organic growth and always has been. So it's like people want to post on their social media. So it's like we love when people do that.
Yeah,
like when you post an Instagram story, that's helping us out big time.
What role? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just social media's played a huge role as well.
And we'll get to that for sure.
Yeah.
What? Because we love discussing content here.
Yeah.
What role does your personal presence play as somebody who your your name has been on the building and on the brand? You feel like you've been able to pull back a little bit from the outside looking in a good way that probably benefits you personally.
Yeah.
How has that kind of tug of war been?
Yeah, that's been a tough tug of war, to be honest. It was something that I wanted to be able to pull back, like you said, which I am now a little bit. And I think the show had a lot to do with that as well, and just having a presence online, or having people maybe have a perception of me and they don't really know me, right? They see something from social media or some stupid reality show, and then they're supposed to trust me with their workouts, and they're paying monthly memberships, and I never want to disappoint anybody. So I feel like it's always been a lot of pressure, but then sometimes like, oh, does that person not like me? Or do they think this, or do they think that? And that was always a struggle. So I wanted to be able to, like changing the name. It was Booth Camp. And now, a few years in, I'm like, I don't know if I love that. I thought I was cool because I didn't realize how big it was going to become. Like, I thought it was going to be this like small group fitness facility, this little brick and mortar. I was literally, the first thing I thought of, I was like, oh, Booth Camp, cool. Like, yeah, let's do it. And I never really thought it through.
It's a great name.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But like I was saying earlier, when I say it to people who don't know my name, they're like, oh, boot camp. This guy must have a lisp. I'm like, no, there's an H in there.
So annoying.
Yeah. But then I was like, oh, I don't know if I want my name on the building. That seems a little douchey. And also, like, if I expand outside of Tennessee, then does that mean I always have to be at every location? So yeah, let's cut it to BC. So I like BC a lot more. And because also, like, the main thing is, like, it's not about me. Like, I started it, but there's so many people on my team. It's about them. Like, I don't want my name and face to be that of the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I started it, but I want to be able to, sit back, do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, coach occasionally. I still coach a lot right now, not as much as I used to. But I do love coaching, but I'm also getting old and I don't want to coach my entire life.
And have a kid.
Yeah. So like, I love like certain workouts, but when you start coaching, 15, 20, 25 classes a week, it wears on you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So being able to step back and having the right people to trust too, where you can feel like you can step away. That's a problem that I have, is that, and I'm getting better at it, is just trust in general. And I've been screwed over in the past with certain things, and being able to trust people is very difficult for me. And that's something that is very challenging if you are a business owner, because you have to trust those around you or else you will fail. And I remember when I opened up the first location, a banker that I used for a small business loan, she gave me a book. I think it was called the E-Myth. I can't remember the exact name. But anyways, it's talking about how the number one reason why businesses fail is the lack of people being able to delegate tasks, where people feel like they're all, it's obviously a mess, and the owner is trying to do everything, but he's paying his employees, and they're trying to do this and that. It's just like, you need to have your set roles. Everybody needs to know their role in order for it to work. So that's definitely a huge thing that we work on.
I take that from my sports background. I'm sure you do as well. The ability to trust somebody else in their role and be like, look, I'm pitching. I can't also field it and then also hit. So like, I got to trust that you guys are going to get that done. I'll focus on what I'm doing over here.
100%.
And I also sit here, also douchey guy with my name on the door.
That's right.
And and it's funny because I think we will at some point, and I hate that it's so similar to yours, but I think we will at some point probably go to LC Studios.
Yeah.
Just because I think it makes more sense. It gives us, like you've said, room for expansion.
Yeah.
It just is kind of, I think, for scale necessary.
Yeah.
How have you approached kind of the idea of expanding outside of Nashville?
So it's always been something that I wanted to do, and looking at cities for years, I've flown out to cities and tried other gyms in different cities and seen like where the best spots would be. And I love, the small town vibe, which is Nashville. I don't even know if we can call it a small town anymore, but you understand what I'm saying. Like it's not in New York City. It's not Chicago. It's not in LA. It's got a very small town feel to it. And that's where I think the community really flourishes. So I have a tough time seeing like a community flourish in New York City, right? There's a million gyms, there's a million clubs, there's a million things to do. But I'm attracted to the Austins, the Raleighs, the Charlestons. Tampa is a big one. Yeah. So cities like that, and then just setting up for success. But now that we opened up this new spot, kind of came out of the blue for us. It was just such a good opportunity that we couldn't pass up. And it is the number one growing neighborhood in Nashville, Wedgwood, Houston.
It's incredible right now.
Exploding.
Yeah.
I mean, they have $1 billion worth of projects going on just within like 2 blocks of our gym.
And they're not just building, they're building insane stuff.
Yes.
Like it's big names coming in there. Really cool. On the restaurant side, on the retail side, like nuts. It's awesome.
Yeah. So we were able to lock down a spot there a few years ago, and it's a huge space. I mean, it's 11,000 square feet. So it's like that kind of put us in a tight spot of trying to expand. So I was like, all right, we'll get this up and running. This will be like the mothership. And then we'll take our gym, BC Gym, and kind of expand it outside to different cities. So hopefully, I want to give this gym a full year at least of all of our energy before we start looking into other cities.
Nice.
And make sure that this is successful.
We should go get a building in Tampa and do a podcast gym collab.
Yeah.
Just split it.
Yeah.
It'd be sick.
Let's do it.
In the cold tub.
In the cold
tub doing a pod.
That was, that's actually what I've been saying I wanted to do. I don't know if I saw it. I don't know why I thought of this. I think did Kevin Hart do it?
Yeah, he did the cold tub show.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm probably stealing his idea.
That's fine. He didn't. I don't think he invented it either. So that's fine.
Yeah, but I got 2 cold plunges in the women's room and the men's room, and I've always been like, once we get open, I want to do like short, not a podcast, just like 60 seconds. Like as soon as we get in, I just start drilling them with like intense questions.
Yeah.
I
told Bobo over at Arete.
Yeah.
I told him he should do it when he gives people IV drips.
Yeah.
Easy.
When he does NAD.
Yes.
Then that'd be brutal. I don't know if you've done NAD, but it's the worst.
I haven't. I'm a little
ever.
scared.
It's awful. It's the worst.
Good for you though.
Yeah, it's great for you. As soon as it's out of the vein, then you're fine. But
let's shift gears a little bit. Let's go to mindset.
Yeah.
What keeps you on the path, especially when momentum dips?
Yeah. I'm a very motivated person, and I think that I've also got demons in me that I use.
Talk about it.
For motivation.
Yeah.
I just like, I have, I take past life experiences and I use them as motivation. So if somebody has said something negatively, or if I've been screwed over, or if I've like been counted out, like I think I've always just had a chip on my shoulder.
You're a bulletin board guy?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that, put it on the board, and remember
almost
that.
to a fault. Yeah. Like I was actually like thinking about that, like on my run before, like just I'm running and I just get this motivation and I'm just like pumping myself up, and I'm like, maybe one day I should just like do it for me. You know?
Maybe I should let go.
Yeah, let go.
Nah,
Yeah,
stupid idea.
Yeah. No, letting go is a tough thing for me. Letting go is a very tough thing for me. But I am a big bulletin board guy. I always pull from my bulletin board for motivation.
I'm trying to go the other way.
Yeah.
I'm not a bulletin board guy.
Oh, God.
But I've been starting to get to a point where, like, I mean, again, I'm a dad as well.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. I'm more tired than I've ever been. Having a blast, but and like things are great. But I've been trying to look for some new sources of motivation like that. Obviously, the primary is like, I have a family that I want to feed and provide for, and a lifestyle that I want to maintain and scale and all that. But I kind of been wanting to get a little grittier with it. And I'm looking for some demons, I guess is what I'm saying.
Shoot, I got some you can have. But to go to the dad point, now that is probably number one.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, is that for the past year or two, I've been like, I've got a son now.
Yeah, man.
I want him to see how hard I work. I want this to be successful for him. Like, this is all for him. So that motivation alone gets me through. And especially like working out as well. It's like, you know, I'm an old dad. I'm 39. Locks is a year and a half. So when he's 10, I'm going to be 50.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to be able to throw a ball with him, play basketball in the driveway with him, do these sports. I want him to see what a strong dad looks like. So that's definitely a lot of motivation. And then all the other bulletin board stuff.
That's awesome. That's good. Well, and the longevity thing, I can relate to that for sure. Like I'm starting to get back into my fitness grind for that reason of like, I want to be able to run around my kids.
Yeah.
You know, and not feel like, I can't pick you up because daddy's going to throw his back out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
a nightmare to me.
It's awful.
Yeah.
There's a clip going around recently from fitness influencers that I've seen, and it's like this mass, and this is going to get a little dark here, so I apologize.
Take us there.
Mass, I don't know if he was a rapist or child molester.
Oh, we are getting dark. Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
dark.
Yeah.
They're interviewing him, and they asked him like what kids he would go after. Like, why would he pick the kids that he did?
Yeah.
And he said, I look at their dad, and if I didn't think that they were a threat, then I would go after that kid.
Shit, man.
So, yeah.
I might do a double session today, dude. That's there's maybe my motivation that I'm looking for the gym.
Yeah. So,
jeez, man.
Right? Especially as like a girl dad, it's like,
no question.
Shit.
Yeah, there's nothing I would hate more than she brings a dude home and I'm like, he can kick my ass.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
That day's gonna come because I'm gonna be old. But
it's such a different mindset. And obviously there's a lot of same fundamental things that you worry about, whether you have a boy or a girl. But I remember going into the delivery room and thinking we were going to have a girl. And then when Locks popped out, it was almost like, it was almost relief. Because I was like, it's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I feel like there's a lot more things in life you got to worry about being a girl dad.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only a year and change in.
Yeah.
But I'm already thinking very far down the road.
Oh, yeah. I know how I was when I was a boy.
Or even like just set an example, I think is a different thing too. You know, like as a boy dad, I feel like it's more of you got to show them what it means to be a man and like how to take charge and be a leader and, you know, be dependable and your word means everything and et cetera.
Yeah.
Girl dad, it's like I'm setting an example of somebody that she will hopefully find to be her partner for life.
Yeah.
So it's a different, I feel like
very different
accountability, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get the chance to have both challenges.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to be able to compare notes with myself, you know? But,
yeah. Same. I definitely want to have a girl. I want that relationship. I feel like there's nothing like it, right? Like
it's fun,
a girl and her dad is just such a beautiful bond and connection.
She took her first steps last night.
Did she?
Yeah, she
nice.
like in a row, like real walking steps.
That's all over now.
I mean, yeah, I've been watching Locks run everywhere, dude.
It was crazy. It was like it happened. He took a couple steps, and the next day a couple more, and then he's just like running. Like, so you'll see that. Like the next couple of weeks will be wild.
I can't wait.
Once she gets some more confidence.
Getting back to probably what people clicked on this video for, not us just fawning over our kids.
Yeah.
How has your definition of discipline evolved over the years?
Yeah, that's I feel a lot more pressure owning a business and having people rely on me for their paychecks, for their career. They're taking their time and energy to come spend it at my gym. So that is something where I'm very disciplined in, like got to get up and show up for them. And it's my business, but it's our business. So I think I've become very more disciplined knowing that and not wanting to fail. Where I think if you are working by yourself, for yourself every day, maybe an influencer, it's a lot easier to slack off, take a day off, take a morning off, sleep in. Where when you really have other people relying on you, I think the discipline definitely comes a lot greater.
How do you rest or reset? What does that look like for you?
I need more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
do.
I don't, actually.
Yeah. I need a lot more of it. I know it's going to wear me down because when I'm not working, I'm working out.
Yeah.
And then when I'm not working out, I'm with my son. And then I'll come home and, you know, most times I come home and I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
And I don't like that because I'm just so shot and spent. And not only am I working all day, but I'm also surrounded by a ton of people. You know, there's hundreds of people coming in and out of the gym all day. So, you know, you want to be able to communicate with as many people as possible. That's always been a challenge for me because I am inherently an introvert where I don't really open up to anybody, which is also probably a problem. But I don't know, to some people, I feel like this is a therapy session. Yeah. But I'm more outgoing with people that I am really close with. So owning a business where you have people coming in every day, like that's always been tough for me for 7 years.
Yeah.
Like I remember, you know, and I'll still do it. Like the old gym was so small, I would just go like sit in the kitchen before class just because like the anxiety of being around a bunch of people, and then I could just like go out on the turf and coach.
Yeah.
And so,
and then you're not as much interacting with people, like person to person. You're just like, you're playing a coach role.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Instead of like sitting there and then trying to talk to everybody. And
so how are things?
Yeah. But I'm so much better with that now. And now I have my own little office in the back that I can hang out with instead of sitting next to the refrigerator.
So you need time for you when you like need to truly recharge.
Yeah. But
that's how my wife is too. Maggie's that way.
Yeah. So it's difficult though, because then, you know, I come home and obviously I want to be 100% there for Locks and just be like, you know, in it with him. But we're lucky where, you know, we get to be with him every day. So, you know, if he's not with me, he's with Dre, and Dre will come to the gym multiple times a day sometimes, which is great. And, you know, he'll be able to see me at work, and I got a little childcare room in there. So I'll play with him at the office, and then she'll take him back, take him on a walk, and she works from home. And so that part is nice. But when I rest, it's like, you know, I don't. I need to. I need to, because then I need to go to bed too at a decent hour because I get up early.
4 a.m. wake ups, yeah, dude.
And but then I also get into bed around 9 o'clock, and then I want to watch TV, just let my mind go somewhere else.
That's Maggie. Maggie is like, we call it unwind time.
Yeah,
she's like, I have to unwind. If she doesn't get a chance before we actually go to bed, to watch something for like an hour and unwind and really just like unplug, not think about anything but what's on the screen. Yeah. She has a really hard time sleeping that night because she's like, I'm not shut off yet, basically.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Meanwhile, I'm ultra extrovert. Yeah. Like as a business owner, I love when people are coming in here. There's nothing I love more than when somebody schedules a studio tour. Yeah. And they get to come in and I get to talk to them and show them what we're doing here and introduce them to the team. And like, I love that shit. Yeah. Like that's a big part of what I like about my job.
That's amazing.
I'm sure there's things on the other side though that you love that are like, I fucking hate that.
Well, that's why, and that's like why it all comes down to the people you hire. Like, I've got my right-hand woman, Kat Powers, and her man, Patty, Andrew Patrick, and they both work with me, and they're both fantastic at that stuff.
So you've delegated that because you know it's a weakness.
Because I know I'm not strong at it.
Nice.
So I know I'm not like the most like outgoing, you know, spunky person when somebody walks through the door. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to be. Right. You know, I just probably don't come across that way. But they're fantastic at it, and they will, you know, put a smile on somebody's face and make them feel very comfortable and give them a fantastic tour. And, you know, that's why I love having them and love working with them, because they're able to do that, and it makes people feel very comfortable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where if I were to stand there, people might be intimidated as well.
Yeah. Well, and even just for like who you are, your public persona, you know what I mean? Like that also adds another
and
thing.
that's
to
where
it.
it's tricky.
Yeah.
So that's why I hide in the kitchen.
There's if it's working, dude, whatever. I was going to say, being a parent, one of the things that has become so obvious to me is my energy levels.
Yeah.
Both mental and physical, and how I have to be more conscious of how I budget them throughout the day. And it's hard because you do want to be there present at work and like continue to move things forward and kick that ball down the field, but also you want to still save this much for when you get home, and you don't want that to just be like your reserve tank.
Yeah.
So they're getting like
Exactly.
half of you. You want it to be like, no, they're getting me at my best.
Yeah.
'Cause that's my family. I want to be there for them. It's
Yeah.
it's a challenge, man.
It is. And something that we're doing right now is Locks is taking swimming lessons. So it's called ISR, and it's Infant Survival Resource. I believe that's what it stands for.
It looks crazy.
It's wild. Yeah. So it's wild.
Throwing him in the pool in jeans and watching him do his thing.
I mean, the first couple days was probably the closest I've come to like really crying in a while, because I was just sitting there and it was so sad. He was in the water, and he's screaming, crying, and the whole time he's pointing at me. Oh, I'm like, sorry, dude. Like, I can't even watch. This is awful. And
You're
the
like,
worst,
trauma. This is
trauma, and the worst cries. And he's not like a kid who cries a lot at all. It never has been.
Yeah.
He's cried every single day for 5 weeks. But the instructor says like every single kid his age does that. And then as soon as he's out of the pool, he'll turn around, he waves to her. I have him blow her a kiss.
Nice.
And I mean, he was floating the other day for 90 seconds, which was awesome on his own.
Most adults can't do that.
I know. He just knows. It's wild. He's literally like a little bobber, like a fishing bobber. Like you'll dunk him and he'll go down and he'll just pop up. And then he's able to like keep his head above water. And so last week she was doing simulations with him fully clothed, because if he falls in, right, with all of his clothes on, his sneakers, an actual diaper, and he did great. And this is the last week. But anyways, I wanted to do something like that and continue to do things like this to make that time with him where it's outside of work, it's outside from home. We're doing this together. It's a bond, and it forces me, with my battery more full, to be present there with them. So, after swimming, I want to do like gymnastics with him, and then mixed martial arts, and then get that foundation, and then whatever sports he wants to do.
Let's shift gears to content.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure watching the BC content over the years. It is something that, again, I look at as inspo for a brand and a community in Nashville and beyond. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
How has your relationship with content evolved as you've become more focused on your business and as the business has grown?
Yeah, it's been a tricky relationship, because I feel like it's stressful. I feel like content becomes very stressful sometimes, where there was a part of me that really wanted to do everything perfect, and when it posts things, and I've got my phone's millions of videos of just like workouts. It's like videos of class, and then Walter and Locks, and like, because I'm always like, I have all these ideas. I'm like, oh, that would be a cool video. That would be a cool video. That would be a cool video. And it's just finding the time to put it all together. But to that point, social media is such a huge part of our growth, and again, wanting to do something that's different, something that separates us from other gyms, and something that's fun, but also something that provides value, because people like having value. It's like entertainment, and how can I get some value from this? So it's trying to find that mix. And we've always done like fun, goofy things outside of normal like gym activities, which I think has done well for us. And so now that we have new space, kind of trying to figure out what that lane looks like. And, now that I really want to make it a very serious brand, and we have a lot of serious videos, but some fun videos, now it's like, okay, let's throw in some goofy, fun stuff along the way. Because again, it's like, well, then maybe you see some guys like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's goofy. I don't want to work out there.
What do you think's working in the fitness, not just for you guys, but in the fitness space right now, content-wise, and what's kind of getting tired?
Oh, man. That's a good question.
Or even, what do you like? Like, what do you like to consume? Or what do you just see and you're like, oh, skip, I hate that type of stuff?
Man, I'm like, over but it's so informative, and maybe it's because I've been around so long. It's like, here's my workout today. Like I was saying earlier, like, here's my glute workout today.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, you girl, looks like you might have a BBO. Like, I don't know. Like,
that'd be a good video. Actually,
yeah,
here's my workout today.
Yeah.
You just walk into the clinic.
Like, that would be
into
funny.
the practice.
Yeah. Man, that's all like, but I get it. Like, that's what people want to see, and people who don't work out want to get that information, right? So I get that part of it if you're gearing towards, first timers or, but now that I've been around for so long, I don't know. I think I'm kind of lost in that, to be honest, of what I do like and what I don't like.
Are you sick of it? Because I'll tell you, like, my perspective on social media content.
Yeah.
Like, or not social media content about social media marketing.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I am so sick of it. I've been binging it since, 2016 when I started as a social media freelancer.
Yeah.
I was that guy for a long time who was like, Instagram, new tips today. Here's what's going on.
Yeah,
They just changed the format of the pictures.
Yeah.
I was that guy. Live to the minute. They dropped the article.
And
I'd
you
drop
put
the
it
video.
out. Yeah.
That stuff sucks.
Yeah.
But there is an audience
There's
for
an
it.
audience for it.
But
But there's so many people doing it. That's what sucks.
Are any of them making real money? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I know I wasn't at the time. But I think it's, I want to kind of like normalize, like, you've been in your industry for so long.
Yeah.
You can be sick of it. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because that isn't for you.
Yeah.
You don't
exactly.
need to see the here's my workout today video.
Yeah.
That's not a Shawn thing.
And that's, stuff that I'll sprinkle in. But like right now, I just started a YouTube channel, which I'm like, cool, this is fun because I'm very much into High Rocks.
Yes.
And High Rocks is a new
You were just in New York, right?
Yeah.
How'd it
just in
go?
New York. It was good. I
Cool.
PR'd by like 6 minutes.
Let's
so
go, guy.
I was pumped. Yeah. And is a new sport that I genuinely love. There's a lot of workouts that I'm like, okay, cool, I like it. But like, I genuinely love this sport because it challenges me to be strong and to be fast and to have endurance. So it's like all aspects of fitness. And at my age, it gives me, I can set a date and be like, all right, I have a race in October. I got this many months. Like, I need motivation, right? Like bulletin board guy. I need something to look forward to keep me on track. And they have these races. They're for everybody. And like I said, like I just PR'd. So you have these benchmarks where you're able to see if you are getting better. So it's like every workout counts, every day counts, every week counts. So I love that. And I want to share my experiences with that with my following. So I wanted to do a YouTube page. I just started doing like tips and tricks. And now like I want to sprinkle in dad stuff because everybody loves dad content.
Of course.
So now I'm like trying to find the right balance, but putting it together is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. So, but yeah, I am sick of a lot of the social media stuff because I don't know at what point is this too much. Like you said, like who's making what? Like even with podcasts, and you know this.
Yeah.
Like podcasts used to be, I feel like, a huge moneymaker for a lot of people. And now a ton of people got into it. So finding ad money.
Well, and back to your point earlier about how like social media campaigns are harder to come by now because brands have raised their standards. And it's like you've seen on your show, like in the podcast world, the same trend has come around where it's very standardized now. Not many people are getting crazy money.
Yeah.
The top of the top are, but that's about it. Everybody else is just kind of figuring it out.
And to get there,
Yeah.
you have to put in a ton of work, which is great. Like, and that's like the thing where, and I love podcasting because it takes me away from the gym, and I love being able to have serious conversations like this, and I love sitting in these chairs, and that's why I wanted to start it back up again. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you have to, but to be good at it, you have to be consistent.
I tell people 100 episodes.
Yeah.
You want to make real money, do 100 episodes. Then
Consistently, like every week.
then look around because that's how you build an audience.
And most people don't make it to 100.
Most people don't make it past 8.
Yeah.
4% make it past 8.
Really? Damn. All right. I did better than that.
That's why we started selling this this bundle package. It's like it's called the Overachiever package. So you pay for 8, we'll give you the 9th just to get you to that top 4%.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to be like, hey, most people don't make it there. Dude.
So when you say this and make money, so say if somebody's listening right now and they're like, I want a podcast, you get 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Say somebody with no following, what does their listening numbers look like per episode, and like what does actual money look like?
If you want to be able to probably like, if you're working in a studio like ours, based on like our price points, you're probably going to need 15 to 20,000 views plus downloads per episode.
Views and downloads, or just
together,
downloads? Together. Okay. So you say everybody should do a YouTube and...
Yeah, I mean, the move is video. Like, the audio is, throw that out there just cause. But, like, video is where you're going to make your money, for sure. Damn. It's better for advertisers because they can put something on screen, whether it's like a lower third in the bottom of the video or it's like actual product placement. People connect better with video because they're dedicating 2 senses to it. They're seeing you and hearing you. All of this all ties together to also, like, brands are just coming around to realizing these are shows. These are like paying for real commercials now.
Right.
And so that's where I think the value add is versus an audio where everybody just goes 15 second, 15 second, 15 second, 15 second, and then they've skipped your 60-second read.
Yeah.
And they didn't see anything.
Yeah, because I always wanted that too. I'm like, why are these brands paying so much when you literally just skip?
Everybody skips.
Everybody skips.
Mm-hmm. But it's they pay for those ads or they go pay for TV ads, and like the price point on that is drastically different.
Yeah.
So it's a cheap spend for them.
Yeah.
I think brands are starting to add more budget on the podcasting side of things, especially like big box brands are starting to get into the space like Walmarts and Starbucks and everything, which is great.
Yeah.
But even if you're skipping on YouTube, because you can do that little double tap thing to skip ahead, you're still probably seeing a lower third banner with the brand on it.
And it gives you like a link or a code.
Yeah, so you're seeing something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, back to the point is like, it's tough to monetize a show now. It's competitive. There's a lot of noise out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to give it a go again. When I was opening the gym, I was like, I can't put any other time outside of my gym because I'm like, I'm investing so much time and money into this. If I step away for a few hours, I feel like I'm dropping the ball over here.
Which I think that's like that's just choices. You know, like you go through chapters like that. It happens.
Yeah.
This show, I haven't been as consistent with it as I wanted to be because things came up, life-wise and work-wise, and it's like, okay, it happens. It is what it is, and I know I'm doing a disservice to the show when that happens, but the show is not the main priority at that point. So
let me ask you this real quick. AI, that's obviously the next big thing.
It's now, dude.
It's now.
Yep.
What is the next move? Like podcast, what do you think the future is for podcasts? You think AI is going to do podcasts?
For sure.
Like how?
For sure. I think like with Google Veo that just came out, Veo 3.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the clips from it?
No.
It looks just like you and I sitting here talking right now. It's incredible. The lighting is perfect.
Like influencer videos now for AI.
Yeah, it's like they're making mock like Hollywood movie scenes and like the whole thing is AI generated completely. So I think very quickly, and it's something I'm curious about trying, is like, can I sit down and go, I want to have a conversation with Salma Hayek. And so I feed it an image of the studio, a few images of the studio to give it really an idea of what's going on. I give it my script. I give it that script. Both those scripts are written by ChatGPT. I give it, hey, what topics should we talk about, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing is that I upload it into Google Veo 3 and it then produces the episode. I think that happens like that. And I don't know what we do with it, but we can do it. So someone's going to find a way to monetize it.
And how... Now, is that like Salma Hayek can then come after you being like, I didn't say that?
I would think so. If I'm Salma Hayek, I definitely want to be able to come after me. You know what I mean?
You're like, well, then I want to do an interview with Donald Trump and I'll do that on AI.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think that's where it gets like a little sketchy is the legality.
Yeah.
Because if I have her saying crazy stuff,
and can you just say though, like, hey, this is AI generated?
Probably.
A little disclaimer in the bottom.
Yeah, but does that mean it's okay?
No.
You know what I mean? Because then it's also like, where does it go politically even?
Exactly.
If you're able to then, and this is happening now, like I'm seeing it happen on feeds where I'll see a Donald Trump video pop up and he's saying something that I'm like, wait, what did he just say? Or the big one right now is people are taking like, and it's AI obviously is what I'm saying there. The sports press conferences after a game.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're seeing all that. Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I just took that shot because I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I'm doing any given night. I just go out there and I chuck shots up.
Yeah.
And it's like, they didn't say that. It's AI. You can kind of tell still, but I'm telling you, it's right there. And so how does that type of content getting out into the world, especially when we still have so many people on phones who are not really social media literate?
No, yeah.
You know,
And that was like,
if that video comes across your mom's feed,
I know she's gonna believe it.
it's a problem.
Yeah, because that's like when the whole thing with Trump went down on the bus. We all know right before the Hillary election, right? Where he said it wasn't his voice, right? Like it clearly was. It was him.
He was only 10 years away from,
But now everybody would believe it
for sure.
That's what I mean. I'm like, now people be like, oh yeah,
It's obviously AI. We all would've went, yeah.
yeah, it's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be weird. So it's like there is on one side of the coin, you can manufacture stuff that pushes like misinformation about people. On the other side, like you can get people in trouble by pushing stuff that is like, no, this is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So I don't know where it goes. I do know though there's other applications of AI in podcasting that like we take advantage of. Editing episodes, for example. Like this episode's being live cut right now.
Yep.
It's already done when we hit record.
Yep.
So there's ways to build it in that are really impressive.
Yeah.
A lot of the outlines we're doing for this show, I work with ChatGPT because I've trained it to be a producer for this show. So a lot of the questions we discussed today, we're getting real meta. A lot of the discussion that we had today was me working with Chat to come up with those questions.
Yeah.
So it's like there's great ways to use it, and I'm always focusing on how this will fly. I'm always focused on how technology can be used as a tool versus a weapon.
Can you even like with the AI tool for the live editing? Can you say make sure you take out every time he says
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's something that I'm trying to figure out, like how do we incorporate it then into our service list?
Yeah.
You know, because there's most of our shows that we work with are not editing at that tedious a level where they want to cut out all that type of stuff. I think also in podcasting, it's become less important to do that. But for like a very specific professional themed show, for example, where you want to come off as almost scripted and you want it to be an optimized version of the conversation versus pauses and ums, that now is a offering we could bring to somebody.
Gotcha.
Be like, hey, you don't want dead space and ums and ahs? Okay, we'll just cut them out. And instead of a producer having to spend 8 hours going through
every single
60-minute discussion, we do it in 10 minutes.
That's wild.
It's nuts.
The future
is it in your world? AI? In terms of like the gym?
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of refreshing to know that like you still got to lift the weights up and put them down.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's what I also like about it too, owning a gym. It's like you're always going to need it.
Yeah.
Right? You can't get an AI body, right?
Right.
You got to actually put in the work. So that'll always be something that people need.
You can get an Ozempic body though.
God.
That's kind of close.
Start on that. I think that stuff is terrible. It's so bad for you.
Yeah, those studies
So bad.
those studies are going to be interesting over the next 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Might as well just try it so you can get in on that lawsuit action down the road.
Sure, yeah.
Be like, yeah, I took it.
You heard it here first. Sean Booth's advice.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm like, I don't want to go into it deep, but I'm like, the whole point of getting healthy and working out is to get stronger bones and muscles, right? And that's going to give you longevity in life. That's going to, make sure that when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you can walk around still, you can still drive, do all those things. And now we have this this quick fix that we've all known for years. Anytime something new pops up, it never works. Like the one thing that's tried and true, eating healthy, working out, all right, that's going to get you the body composition that you want. Now you have something where you can just jab into yourself and it's taking down your bone density. It's literally eating away muscle. So you ever seen the Ozempic ass? And that's a big thing. It's like girls who used to have nice, shapely glutes now just have a flat butt because the glutes are the biggest muscle in your body. So it's going right for that muscle, but you're losing all this weight, but it's taking away muscle and it's making your bones weaker.
Yeah.
So sure, do you want to lose weight now? Or, the long-term effects of that are just outrageously bad.
Very bad.
Yeah. And we're seeing it everywhere.
What a time.
Crazy.
What are you excited about right now? Personally, professionally, anything?
Personally, I'm really excited about Loxy. He's starting to talk a little bit, which is cool.
Nice.
So I keep saying that this is my favorite age, but I feel like it just gets better and better.
Yeah.
I just want to keep him at this size, but he's so damn cute. And
it's so annoying they have to grow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But just being able to communicate with them is what I'm excited about. Professionally, it's just growing the gym. We had our grand opening February 22nd, so it's March, April, May, June. We'll be 4 months in here. So
Awesome.
We're rocking and rolling, growing every month, and just trying to see where we can take that space and all the fun offerings that we can create here in Nashville with it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
yeah.
If you're in Nashville, check out BC Block for all your fitness needs. Check out the podcast in the booth, and subscribe to the new YouTube channel.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Get over there.
yeah.
We'll throw the link in the description. If you're here, you like what you're just seeing, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shawn.